down there trying to rescue the agenda from the printer that tried to eat it.
Look at this piece that I just pulled out of... Hi, everybody! All right, here we go.
Well, I hope this agenda is excellent and great and everything...
Not all that it's cracked up to be.
Worth battling the printer for.
Robbie, my creaky knees. I need your help.
Do you need some help?
I need some help.
Oh.
Also, I feel like I should have eaten some lunch before the show.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little low calorie.
You also now have toner all over your fingers and now on your leg, I think.
Fingers on my leg. Oh, good. All right, excellent. Things are really looking up. But since we have the agenda, we have something to cling to. We will not have to be listless boats on a tragic sea. Shake that agenda, Robbie. Shake it. All right, you guys. Let's see what's going on. Let us, I warn you, pulled out the thesaurus today.
You did.
We might experience traditional things in unexpected ways. For example, instead of greet, I decided to put our predictable beginning items into imperatives. So this is to us. Greet.
So an imperative means
something that you have to do.
Something that you have to do.
Okay.
Like cut your fingernails.
I did it. I did it. Oh, except for that one. That one's a little long. I cut the other ones.
Why would you cut
all
the other ones?
You can't remember. There's so many of them. How can you remember all of them? All right. So, greet. We are going to greet you. Hello.
Yes, hello.
I would like you to greet each other. I'd like you to look around the room. I'd like you to issue a hearty hello to the people around you. I'd like to we talked in the last episode about the word howdy, which we learned is a 19th century derivation of how do you do? Howdy. Why didn't we figure that out ourselves? I feel a little ashamed now that we had to.
Because I feel like I'm not ashamed. I feel like that's okay. I feel like figure that out.
Jennifer is a magical talisman that you call upon only when you really need her. And I feel like we tapped into the genius.
We used up one of our genie wishes.
But I feel like Jennifer has so generously offered us wish after wish that I've grown callous and thoughtless.
Maybe you have.
Jennifer, please tell me what this...
Yes, we could have easily Googled that one ourselves.
We could have. But I hope Jennifer receives a modicum, meaning a small amount, of joy from providing such information. I suspect that she does, and that is part of why I feel so emboldened to task her with language-related requests/demands. All right.
We learned about howdy.
Replenish.
Oh, I thought we were going to learn something about greet.
No. Replenish. Now, you can replenish lots of things. You can replenish the filter in your coffee maker. You can replenish the toilet paper once you've used it all up and all you have left is a sad and lonely roll.
That, please.
All right. So, but in this particular case, we are going to replenish the water missing from our parched bodies. You guys, you are so watery. You are big watery blobs that have a couple of other cells sticking to all the water.
You're mostly water.
You have to drink the water to remain water. And if you don't remain water, things get really dire. Drink your water. Drink your water. Please.
Prost. Cheers.
I'm going to drink my water with my beaver shirt on. Here we go.
Look at that. Everyone's saying hi, howdy, hello.
Oh.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, guys.
So, yes, that's a different way of saying hi.
Oh.
Down in the South.
We have some jokes. I think Augie just put a joke up. I can't wait. All right. Listen. All right. We're going to either listen to one. Should we listen to one another? Robbie, would you like to tell me your woe, your sadness and woe while I listen? Or would you like to listen to Drew sing theme song about how great you are? Those are your two choices. Sadness and woe or Robbie's great theme song.
I was going to say, these guys have been listening this whole time.
Right.
That is their entire job in this show, is for them to listen.
Question.
I feel like
how do you know they're not going... They might be doing that. They might be doing that.
And that would be their right.
They might have us muted and they're just hanging out with their friends. They might be, look at those crazy people talking. Please be quiet so I can chat with Maris, chat with Thomas.
I guess I was just going to say, in our defense, if we spent the entire show listening... the show wouldn't be would be boring.
Yeah. Unless you gave me some good juicy stuff. If you have some really juicy sadness and woe, bring it over. Maybe we all want to hear it.
I probably do have some juicy sadness and woe, but I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, boo! All right. Well, in fact, let us listen to the Robbie is better and smarter and greater and taller and smarter.
Robbie is cooler. Robbie is cuter. And Robbie's just better than Matthew.
That's true.
I mean,
It's true.
If there's one thing that would make my sadness and woe feel better, other than listening, it would be listening to that song.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
So do you feel better?
I do.
So you have a little less sadness and woe to share than you would have before.
Sadness and woe.
Oh, excuse me. I just had to look at the back of the agenda to see if anything was written there.
Need to put
Yeah,
some
Robbie,
sort of
get on it.
silent burp
Stop
animation
talking
on it.
and get following through with your silent burp button. All right. Robbie talks about her big pencil.
I didn't look for it.
Well, in honor of Space Week, Robbie's going to tell you about an item of totemic importance from her childhood, which means an item of great importance. An item of importance that transcends, which is bigger than the importance of the item itself. In this particular case, the item is a very large pencil. Robbie found it? Where was it? Was it with your toothbrushes? I mean, your paintbrushes?
Yes, it was with my inks that are also beautiful that I put
Tell us things. Tell us things, Robbie.
Okay.
All right.
You might not be able to see it.
That pencil is so long, Robbie. What does it say?
It says.
It says.
Oh, I am holding it.
Does it say NASA?
It says NASA.
Whoa.
Goddard Space Flight Center.
Holy cow.
So the Goddard Space Flight Center is near Washington, D.C., and I went, I think, in 4th grade on a field trip there, and this had a banner on it at one point.
Oh.
That said, like, space is cool.
Did you rip it off in anger?
No.
Okay.
I don't know when it got lost.
Okay.
I see now that my mother, who was a potter, must have used this as some sort of pottery tool to maybe reach down into the insides of tall pots and tamp
It
things
would be
down.
helpful because it's so long.
Yes.
She said, Robbie went away to college. Robbie, being a mature adult woman, no longer needs that really long pencil.
The giant pencil.
Wrong.
Okay.
All right.
But see, I found it again.
Yeah.
I would not have found it again, I don't think, if my mother hadn't used it downstairs in this very barn.
Now tell us about the day that you acquired this pencil.
The day that I acquired this pencil in 4th grade, I remember exactly nothing about except that I got to buy this pencil. So I was given some money to spend at the gift shop, and I spent probably 45 minutes. I mean, I don't know if it was 45 minutes. I'm sure our teachers didn't give us 45 minutes to peruse the gift shop, but that's all anybody cared about. We spent as long as possible in the gift shop, and I only had a very limited amount of money, and this was what I bought, and I was so delighted.
Sometimes there's no accounting for the things that bring you love, and joy, and happiness.
I love it so much. It makes me so happy, and I wish I remembered anything about the Goddard Space Center, because I'm sure it's a cool place.
Robbie, I'm glad that you still have your very long pencil.
I am too.
I still have some things from childhood that bring me great joy. Maybe we'll show them on a future program. For today, we're going to move on to the next item, which is Matthew reads Chapter 8 of Wonder Undercover.
All right.
Oh, sorry. All right. Okay. I'm going to pull this book over here to Wonder Undercover. You guys know, Rimmelkoist, Volume 3. Shall we proceed, Robbie? Will you please bring up the...
Oh, but look here. I moved our agenda over here.
And now it is covering...
Yes, there we go.
All right. This chapter is called Chief of Who exactly? You will remember that Milton went to the local House of History and was just disrespected by the chief historian who refused to answer any of his questions. That made Moxie really mad. And so they are going to go give him a talking to and see if they can get to the bottom of the burglary. Somebody broke into the House of History under mysterious circumstances. So, Chief of Who exactly?
This is a legit crime that they're investigating. This is kind of exciting. The stakes feel like they're a little higher.
This is no case of the missing lunchbox,
That's
though, is it?
Right.
All right. We tell Dad that we're heading to the local House of History, which is true. But we don't tell them that we are heading there to tell Chief Historian Bernard Buxton, who's actually boss. As Annabelle Adams often says, less is more, unless you are referring to pineapple upside-down cake. Have fun, says Dad, grinning. He and Mom are always hoping that I'll take more interest in Milton. A few minutes later, we arrive at the local House of History. We walk up the elegant marble steps and open the magnificent door. There, behind the desk, is the chief historian, Bernard Buxton, my nemesis and Milton's nemesis, and the only thing standing between the children of Tiddlywump and the wonders of local history. Good day, I say, with as much cheer as one can muster when talking to a dark-hearted fiend. Good day, says Chief Historian Bernard Buxton, as if Milton and I were two cockroaches that just skittered into his kitchen. The chief historian is tall and entirely bald, as if his body put so much effort into growing that it was just too tired when it came time to make hair. I launch into my interrogation, showing my little brother how it's done. The name's Moxie McCoy. I think you've met my fellow detective, Milton. We are here to investigate the case of the invisible intruder. I have no idea what you're talking about, says the chief historian, as he busily starts dusting a glass case containing Marcus Tiddlywomp's favorite hairbrush. Let me refresh your memory. A crash in the basement. A call to the police. A suspicious lack of clues. There was nothing suspicious about the lack of clues. You mean there was nothing out of the ordinary? Nothing. I glance over at Milton to make sure he's properly impressed with my performance, but instead of taking notes, he is looking around the room intently, as if trying to discover its deepest secrets. So, there were no footprints or rusty weapons or giant pools of blood? Nothing at all. There wasn't even an intruder. Detective Maltani included that there was insufficient evidence to continue the investigation. While I give Chief Historian a glimpse of Annabelle's patented deep Arctic stare with one eye, I use the other eye to notice that Milton is ever so slowly inching his way around the far side of Columbus. I have no idea what he's up to, but the situation has just grown far more complicated, which is exactly how I like it. If nothing happened, why did you call the police in the first place? I heard a crash in the basement. My extra eye watches Milton as he removes the Magnetron 2000 from his tool belt and carefully extends the shaft, which grows longer and longer, like an endlessly unfolding telescope. He gives me an urgent, pleading look, and my mission is clear. Keep the chief historian occupied. Could you describe it for me? Chief historian Bernard Buxton sniffles like he's going to sneeze. Describe what for you? The Magnetron 2000 gets longer and longer. I watch as its magnetic tip slowly attaches itself to a ring of keys in the center of the chief historian's desk. This move is so bold that I am flabbergasted, stunned, astonished, confounded, stupefied, shocked, blown over, dazed, and literally beside myself. But I cannot lose my cool. My only job at the moment is to buy time for Milton. Please, describe the crash. There are so many different kinds of mysterious crashes. It would help for me to know what kind this one was. The chief historian frowns. I will not describe it. Milton carefully and quietly retracts the Magnetron 2000. Because you don't know enough adjectives? I know plenty of adjectives. Milton carefully and quietly removes the ring of keys from the magnet. Excellent. I would like to hear at least 7. The chief historian is outraged, but refuses to shrink from the challenge. Loud, surprising, sudden, brief. Milton carefully and quietly creeps to the door at the far corner of the room. Jangling, cacophonous, unsuspicious, he concludes, with the opposite of unsuspicion. Milton is trying various keys, looking for the one that fits the lock. What caused the crash? A toppling pile of tambourines. Who caused them to topple? No one. Piles of things sometimes topple all on their own. I guess you must have stacked them badly. The chief historian does not like this explanation. I always stack everything extremely well. If that's the case, then someone must have toppled them, which suggests that there actually was an intruder. The chief historian stands there looking like someone who has just been caught with one hand in the cookie jar and the other in a mousetrap. There was no intruder. When the police arrived, everything was in perfect order. Not a single file was missing, which is why the case was closed. While the chief historian bellows like an elephant with an earache, Milton finds the right key and unlocks the door and disappears through it. The chief historian puffs up his chest and blows his nose. Now, if you will excuse me, I have official local history business to attend to. I do not have time to talk to a nosy little girl. Chief historian Bernard Button has just used 3 words that he doesn't seem to understand the meaning of, and I am forced to give him a vocabulary lesson. First of all, I am not nosy. I am inquisitive and thorough. I am a detective, I say, like a chainsaw explaining how things work to the trunk of a tree. Furthermore, I am not little. I am in the 83rd percentile for weight, in the 97th percentile for height, and I have a head circumference that falls beyond the upper limit of the growth chart. And finally, while I may be a girl, I am also a person. And even though I am a female person, I am extremely confident, strong, and capable. Perhaps you haven't heard, but girls can do anything. Chief Historian Bernard Buxton looks like a planet that just got pummeled by an asteroid. He knows it's not okay to tell a proud fourth-grade girl she is incapable of greatness, and so he bites his tongue, while his mind says all sorts of things I'm not allowed to hear. It's probably time for me to leave, but Milton has not yet returned from wherever he went, and I need to buy him more time. And so I ask a question that's been burning a hole in my curiosity. Chief of who? Excuse me? As I hoped, I have the chief historian's undivided attention. Usually when someone is chief of something, there are other people who they are the boss of. I assume there must be at least a dozen other historians here who look up to you because you are such a wise and caring chief. Where are they? The chief historian looks around the room, hoping that all the other historians will suddenly show up and help him out. But they do not show up. Chief Historian Bernard Buxton is all alone. If you don't mind, I'm just going to call you Historian Bernard Buxton from now on, in order to be accurate. Historian Bernard Buxton looks at me as if he's just found out the salamander he's been picking on is actually a full-grown T-Rex. At that moment, Milton reappears and quietly scampers around the far side of Columbus to stand by my side. He appears to be holding something behind his back. I don't know about you, Milton, I say, but I have all the information I need. As do I, says Milton, with a gleam in his eye. Oh, look! Oh, look, he says, pointing to the floor. Someone dropped his keys. As chief of no other historian, Bernard Buxton puzzles over how his keys made their way across the room. I give my best humph and leave him standing there with neither children nor anyone else to boss around. The moment we get outside, the interrogation, the actual interrogation begins. Where did you go? What did you find? How could you be so bold? You always tell me that detectives must sometimes take risks in the name of justice. So I sneaked down to the basement to see what I could learn about the mysterious crash. I found a big pile of storage boxes, one of which was not stacked in alphabetical order, as if it had been hastily moved by a thief and not returned to its proper position. The box was full of files related to the 100 Years of Wonder exhibition. There was a file for each member of the Wonder family. Milton hands me a family tree. Whose file do you think should have been between the files for Upchurch Wonder and Wendell Wonder? His eyes look as excited as I feel. My brain scans the alphabet. There's only one letter between U and W. Is Veronica Wonder one of the Wonders, I ask? I think so. And according to the family tree, Wendell and Upchurch are her cousins. But her file wasn't in the box. My brain kicks into overdrive. Right before you went downstairs, the chief historian told me that not a single file was out of place when the police arrived. But that's definitely not true, which means he's lying to the police. But why? I have no idea, but look what else I found. Milton hands me a photograph of a teenage boy and a girl with funny clothes and old-fashioned haircuts. I found this wedged between Upchurch and Wendell's file, he says. It must have fallen out when Veronica's file was removed. But who are they? Look closer, says Milton. I look closer. The man kind of looks like, but it can't be. But maybe it is? I think so, says Milton. Oh, Mr. Shine? I think so, says Milton. And is that Veronica? No way, I say. The girl has big glasses and a frumpy dress and wild, frizzy hair. She looks nervous and uncertain, and nothing like the Veronica I know. But there is something familiar about her eyes. If you took away the glasses and added a blue sash. I try to turn back time to see whether the powerful, confident superwoman I know as Veronica Wonder could possibly have ever looked like this. I think it's her, I say, as my mind races to catch up with everything that's happened in the past few minutes. Milton did something daring. It seems there definitely was a break-in at the local House of History. The chief historian is trying his best to cover it up. The stolen file is somehow connected to Veronica. Veronica is somehow connected to Mr. Shine. Milton was right about something. You did good, I say. Milton glows like the Firefly King. As he should. My fearful little sidekick of a brother did something that was not only completely amazing, but also completely against the rules. My heart roars with pride, and I'm tempted to lick the side of his face the way a mother lion would lick her newborn cub before stopping myself, realizing how very, very weird that would be. And then I remember that Milton owes me a theory. Tell me, how are the Dublingers duping each other? Where do the eggs come from? He asks. I'm not sure, but Tracy is the one who fetched the ingredients. Well, you should find out. Maybe Tracy is messing with the eggs. Of course! How diabolical. And how is Tammy sabotaging Tracy? Well, if Tracy's compass works fine, then maybe Tammy did something to her map. Milton, you're a genius! Milton blushes. Like I said, it's just a theory. But Milton's theory leaves us much further along in the Wonder Scouts case than we are when it comes to the case of the missing file. I stare at the photo in my hands. Although it seems like an extremely important clue, we have no idea what caused these tambourines to topple, or what the chief historian is hiding, or who might want to steal Veronica's file. Luckily, I know someone who probably does.
Dun, dun,
Dum
dun,
dum
dun,
dum 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 dum. And we are done. All right. Thank you, friends.
Well, I want to...
Do you want to show something?
I do. Well, I want to show a couple things.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go back to
Yes.
this page
Yes.
as you were reading.
Yes.
This was a late edit.
Oh, interesting.
So if you look here, you can see that the Milton was right about something. First, I had it on a banner, I think, and the banner has disappeared. But it was probably too busy. So then I had it written at the top of the notebook. But in the actual book...
Yeah.
It's written
at the bottom.
Yeah, show the show how it's written in the book. It's down there.
And that Milton is right about something is at the very bottom.
Yeah. So for some reason, we decided that needed to change.
Yeah, I don't remember. It
remember
threw me
that
off
either.
a little bit.
Yeah. The other thing that I noticed was there was a page where
I love Milton as the Firefly King. That's the
I
thing
do
that
too.
I most wanted
yes.
to point out.
I do want to point that out.
Yeah.
This one. Do we... Oh, I missed the bellows like an elephant. And I was like, why did I draw him as an elephant?
Okay.
Because it's funny, because the bellows like an elephant came far enough before the picture of the elephant that
that you didn't connect them.
I thought it was, he puffs up his chest and blows his nose, and I was like, do elephants blow their noses? Is that what I was trying to get at?
So it's interesting, you guys. Robbie has established a style where she has tons of illustrations. Every page has 2 or 3 illustrations, and sometimes there's long conversations that she has to illustrate between the same people. So she could either draw the same people over and over again with different facial expressions, or she could do something like this, where she takes a metaphor or a simile where bellows like an elephant. That's a simile. That's using figurative language. He bellows like an elephant.
Bring an image into your head so it's not just like he yelled. You're like, oh, he's really like making a loud noise like an elephant would make.
So she could draw him yelling.
Right.
But she thought it would be more interesting to draw an elephant here. Now, why does the elephant have a Band-Aid on his face? That's my
Let's
question.
see. Like an elephant with an earache. There you go.
Okay, all right. So he has a Band-Aid on his ear.
I guess because it was too hard for me to like. I think, you know what I think I originally drew?
Uh-huh.
You know, there's that idea when you have an earache. No, that's a toothache.
Yeah.
When you wrap the
Like the ice pack around your
the
face?
ice pack around your head?
Yeah.
I think I originally had him like that.
I don't think
but
I
it was
ever
too
paid
confusing.
attention to these Band-Aids on her before. I never questioned them until this exact moment.
Well, there you go.
All right.
And then, yes, the Firefly King is one of my favorite drawings ever. Well, I do like the close-up of Veronica, but you know what?
What?
It says that she's wearing a frumpy dress with funny clothes and old-fashioned haircuts. But then, the next page, the girl has big glasses and a frumpy dress and wild frizzy hair.
Oh,
you cannot tell. That is not a frumpy dress.
So here's a case where Robbie didn't actually read the book. This happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just had a picture in my head of what she was supposed to look like. Now, ordinarily, a copy editor would have caught this.
But you know what? I think part of the problem is it was the next page by then.
Yeah.
And people just aren't thinking about it anymore. So there's something that we could probably make better. You know, it could be a frumpy dress if you just didn't see the bottom of the shirt.
Right, but that's absolutely not a dress.
You could make a pretty... So I just need to change it to shirt, frumpy shirt. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, maybe, you know, Aaron Stein lets us change words in subsequent printings of the book, so we could change it to a frumpy shirt. In fact, I owe Aaron Stein comprehensive feedback on this manuscript because there is a typo in here somewhere, you guys. Can somebody find the typo? It was really early on in the book. See if you could find it if you own a copy yourself.
It was a bad one.
I think, you guys, it is time... Yeah.
There's the Firefly King.
I just
Look
love
how
it.
Cute.
I love how he's lighting his own face from below. his glowing butt is giving his chin a little arc of light from below. It's so great. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's see what's next. Let's see.
We issue all necessary admonitions about research.
Well, what?
Do your research. Send us some interesting stuff.
Wait, are you going to...
We want to hear about space.
Are you going to glare? Are you going to pound and gnash?
I'm not. I'm going to gently encourage.
You're going to use a different approach.
Because we all enjoy learning things
that
are interesting.
Okay.
And so I don't need to crack any whips.
Okay.
You guys are...
Fair enough. Fair enough. But I warn you, your iron fist is the thing that causes... You know what? Proof Robbie doesn't need to be a hard apple. Yeah.
Yes.
All right? Mm-hmm. Cool. Why does
Mr. Shine have a shirt that says Kiss? That is because when I was younger, I had a favorite shirt, and it was a Kiss shirt. Kiss is a band.
Kiss is a band full of ridiculous men
who have long hair, and they paint their faces. And when I was
kind
a
of
kid,
like clowns, kind of like scary clowns.
Look like clowns.
Ask your parents if they'll show you a picture of Kiss.
I was going to say, your dad probably has some Kiss albums just like hanging out.
Because but anyway, it was they were very outrageous. If you've heard of Marilyn Manson, who's an artist today that makes himself look very strange, they were kind of like the Marilyn Manson before Marilyn Manson in terms of looking like nobody else.
Oh my gosh, Marilyn Manson is still 2 decades before these guys.
All right,
so
fair enough.
We're talking about very old
but
rock
they made
bands.
themselves look absolutely ridiculous one way of saying
but,
it.
Like somehow we're cool.
Cool, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So I had a T-shirt that was a Kiss T-shirt when I was a kid. Not because I was a Kiss fan, but because I had gotten it from a Kiss fan and it had sparkly applique on it.
You thought you were cool.
And I thought it was the coolest
Favorite
T-shirt.
shirt ever?
Favorite shirt ever.
Yeah.
And I just wanted Mr. Shine to have a little bit of that coolness.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Shine seems like kind of a dork as a teacher, doesn't he? He's a little bit dorky.
He's a loving, kind man.
He's a loving, kind man.
If that's dorky, then Matthew Swanson is a big dork too.
I think nobody would argue that Matthew Swanson is a big dork too.
Boo.
But I wanted him to have a little bit of an edge, a little bit of coolness.
Like me, Robbie?
Yes, like look how they seem like they're a little bit dorky, but don't they seem like awesome pals who don't really care what anybody else
Look
thinks?
like they're having fun.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so Robbie's not going to yell at you.
Yeah, sorry.
Robbie...
Comments on the inefficient use of paper.
Look how much extra room there is
at
the bottom. I didn't fill the agenda as completely as I could have. But
you know what?
In my defense, we're over time. We don't even have time for space jokes.
Okay.
Were there any jokes that anybody
there were
put...
so many jokes.
Oh, there
were so many jokes.
All right, let's do a little zoom joke.
Zoom
All right,
joke.
Here we go.
Why did the superhero flush the toilet?
Because it smelled bad, and it was time to... No?
Because that's what you do.
Oh, because it was his or her job to clean up the city?
No. Oh, but that's a good...
Because trying to flush out crime?
No.
No?
It's more basic than that.
Oh, because...
It doesn't have to... It's a little bit... I would say, what if it was, why did the Major General flush the toilet?
To evacuate the problem? What?
Because it was his duty.
Oh, all right.
I'm surprised you didn't get that one.
I like that. Right.
Okay. Why can't your head be 12 inches long?
Because then it would be your foot.
Yes!
Then it would be your foot.
These are all from El Puppy. Why did the melon jump into the lake?
Because it was a watermelon.
Very good. Very
Yay!
good.
All right.
Okay.
Is there more?
This one's from
Abby.
Okay. How do you make a tissue dance?
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah,
You
this
put a
is a
little
good one.
boogie in
A
it.
little boogie.
Yeah, that's a good one though.
Okay.
Okay.
This one's from Augie.
Okay.
What is a bat's favorite sport?
What's a bat's favorite sport? A bat. Oh, baseball.
Very good.
Yes,
Like the
good.
baseball
Yep,
bat.
yep.
Not like a flapping flying bat.
Yep, I like it. Good.
Okay. Another one from Abby. What has teeth but cannot eat?
A comb? Is that what? Does a comb have teeth?
I think that's what it's going to be.
Okay. Oh, we don't have the.
But
okay.
I think it got cut off.
Oh, no.
Before we completed.
Okay, fair
the,
enough. Okay.
Answer.
All right. All right,
Okay.
friends.
Wait.
What more?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, this is a good one.
All right.
From Augie. What did the traffic light say to the car?
Stop.
Nope.
Go. Slow down, because it's about to turn red.
Oh, close.
Slow down.
No.
What?
Don't look. I'm about to change.
Oh, I like that.
That was a funny
That's great.
one.
Who was that?
Yeah,
Augie?
that was Augie.
Nice job, Augie.
Good job, Augie. And I do want to say, Principal Ella, clean bill of health on the teeth.
Good job.
Several people weighed in that they
Excellent.
also don't have cavities, so well done, everyone, for your good tooth hygiene.
My guess is that Principal Ella is not eating as many swan pies as we are around here.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Everett asks us to please end the show because he has to go pee.
Dude,
Thank
you
you.
are welcome to go pee anytime.
We
You
appreciate
do not.
you encouraging us to end the show.
He does not want to miss any of the content.
No,
All right,
yes.
friends.
We're going to show you some more space stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to figure out what to do with this painting.
And I'm going to cut this one last missing fingernail
Thank
so
you.
that everything
All right,
is under
go pee. Go pee, Everett. Bye, everyone.
Yes, everybody pee. Go away.